Hello, good afternoon, good morning.
Hey, Bruno, I was wondering, I was looking around to see if this was canceled or what.
No, it was not canceled. Melba, she's not able to attend, so I run for today. But I realized that was also in a wrong Zoom meeting because in our Google Docs we have a different link. Let me
Aha.
share my screen.
I think I got it from the calendar, right?
Yeah, I went in this one that we have. Let me share my screen. Then that's the reason that I was late. Put in the camera here.
I don't know if you can say late when it's like minute after the hour, but
Yeah, this link here, it's wrong. We have to fix it. Okay. So hello, Kathy, Jay.
Hey, Bruno.
I guess this is the wrong meeting link then.
What is this?
This one, it's wrong. That's what I realized this morning.
This one is wrong. Okay.
Yeah. What it's in the calendar, that is the right one. I tried. Let me see if I can fix it. This. Oh boy. The problem if I have many.
Oh, and the calendar doesn't have a link to that book, to that Google Doc.
Yeah.
Can you put the link to into the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the right one.
Thank you. No. I meant the link to the document notes.
Oh, the document. Okay.
Sorry, the Google Doc.
Yeah, we have both problems.
Yeah, it's like normally we get both in the invite or the calendar
Yeah.
entry.
Yeah, Melba, she's much better doing this than me. Let's fix it that. Oh, let's take the new Zoom, the right one, because I think that it was not the first time that I have this problem. Let's fix while we are here. All right. Okay, I spoke with Melba early today, and she said that the only topic that we have for today, maybe we don't need the whole hour, it's to agree on those abstracts. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the last meeting, so I need to.
Wait. Kathy left saying, "I will see you there."
There were. It's the same.
Yeah, exactly. You put a link, and she thought she had to jump somewhere to another Zoom.
Oh.
I hope it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Then she should show up again.
Yeah.
I think she thought, okay, we're meeting over there. There, she's back.
Oh yeah. Hey, Kathy.
Hi,
Welcome back.
It is
No,
the same. Sorry
yeah.
for the confusion.
Yeah, you are talking because there is difference between the one link that you have a Zoom call here,
yeah,
in the document, and the one that it's in the calendar.
yeah. I think they're both the same.
And now it's the same.
Now
I
it
fix
is.
it.
Oh, now it's the
You
same.
just fixed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you jumped off thinking you were going to go somewhere else, but you cannot.
Right, yeah. I was just like,
Hello.
oh, that's a different
Sorry.
meeting.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that it's no newcomer so far, right? Everybody, it's old here.
Yes. Don't rub it in. Some of us are older than others.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Okay. So what I spoke with Melba this morning, she said that she's not able to join because she has 2 kids at home because inclement weather. And then I know deal with kids at home. It's especially when you have meetings is a nightmare. I know pretty well this. So, but she told me that it's what you have to do today is agree on those abstracts so we can work on the submission for the next week. So I'm assuming that you guys attend. I think Jay was here the last meeting, right? Have you attended, Arnold? It looks like no, right?
Yeah, I was, I think. I don't know, was it the last one or the one before? We were talking about all the titles and we voted and kind of.
Yep.
cleaned
Yeah,
up
what
a
was
little
new
bit.
for me looks like that happened the last meeting, and it was the abstract that
Yeah, we were working on the
Okay.
abstracts mostly.
yeah. So what you have to do today, it's just finalize the abstracts, make sure that it's everybody agree, and so we can work to submit those to OpenSSF Day. And I think that it's maybe other events that Melba, it's also, she told me that it's Target as well, but it mostly OpenSSF. That's what I understood for her. Let me know if I'm
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah, that seems like what she wants today, so.
Yeah. So just on top of my head, because I'm reading those abstracts right now, at least when you created those titles, I was assuming that it's, for example, for the beginning, it was something for beginner in software supply chain, not only salsa. I don't know if that's the intention here in this abstract, because I'm reading and say, well, if you're in the beginner, maybe I would like to know how SBOM work with salsa and work with VX and things like that. But I don't know what is the intention here. Just put in for the discussion.
Mm. Well, I mean, this series is all about salsa, not the bigger spectrum of, you know, software security or supply chain security. But I think it doesn't hurt, of course, to position salsa with regard to the rest.
Yeah, because they are complementaries, no? For example, I don't know about, for example, especially for example, people that it's starting to get into the software supply chain. Sometimes you have to explain, oh, but it's salsa and SBOM. They compete with each other. I think that it's SBOM. It was all that I need. I never thought about that we needed a framework. And then people that it's really starting. I don't know if you have the same challenge explain for someone that it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the S-bombs are efforts different than the salsa. I mean, we could do an overview of software supply chain, you know, and then talk about the other things, you know.
Well, it says, you know, we will cover what salsa is and is not. So I
Oh,
would
there you
expect
go.
this to
Okay.
touch exactly on this, right? It should position salsa and say, well, you know, how does it compare to his bombs and whatnot? And by the way, it's kind of a hot topic because there are discussions right now as to whether, you know, what's the difference between salsa provenance and an S bomb or an M bomb.
Yeah.
But
I think, yeah, I think that it's just to the abstract, because sometimes people go through keywords, you know.
yeah.
But I agree. So if that it's no, if everybody agree, we can just approve this and move to the next one.
Yeah, I really like this abstract. The first one I think is really good.
Okay.
I agree. I think it does the job.
Like, how can I say? I'm trying to see if you can put something like that. We agree on it.
You just put a note, exactly.
Yeah, final, okay. So we can define, okay, it's still in draft or this is a final. Oh, okay, the next one, if I remember correctly, it's not like a standard presentation, it's more a panel discussion
That's right.
that will bring people that it's try to at least deploy Salsa, and they come to share their experiences. So in my opinion, looks like that it's pretty clear here what is the abstracts. I don't know if you think that we needed to include something else, but listen to experience organization there.
I think like maybe instead of saying if the journey was worth it, maybe something like
Yeah.
and their lessons learned, or something more knowledgeable, in the sense like not equate it with worth, but equate it with knowledge or experience.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think I remember we talked about this a few weeks ago, and there was this notion that, okay, we're going to tell the world, hey, you need to, look into this and get on the bandwagon, so to speak. And people are going to say, okay, but why should I do all this, right? And this was about, especially if we start talking about, well, don't expect this to be easy. It might be hard because of this, because of that. But the idea was, okay, we should also highlight, what's the gain, so that we can motivate people to actually engage on this road. So I agree. I don't know that it's worded the right way right now, and there may be a better way to turn it around. But I don't think just saying, what are the lessons learned, kind of hit the point that this was meant to carry.
Yeah, the problem, it's worth it. In my opinion, it looks like, oh, at the end, it's binary. It's go or no go. Maybe something like, for example, the biggest challenges, lesson learned. And if you are able to go back in time, what you did differently. Maybe
right, or
different can be.
And the benefits, in fact, right? We could,
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about the biggest challenges, we could say, and what are the benefits?
What if we just change the word if to why, and why the journey was worth it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if we have any panelists who goes and say it wasn't worth it, we have a problem.
Like this,
so I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
So we have Alexandre, right? Join us. Alish.
I'm sorry, what is that?
That's right. It's Alexandre, but Alexandre or just Alex, maybe easier.
Hello, welcome, Alexandre.
Thanks.
Can you? It's your first time in here?
Yeah, it is. I've been participating in other meetings from the Linux Foundation and the Cloud Native Computing Foundation for a while now, and I'm checking it out, trying to see where I can add some value and contribute to the community. So I live in Brazil, and I started a company last year to facilitate collaboration and like grow the open source community and grow, help startups grow their communities and whatnot. So yeah, but I'm just following the group for now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, welcome.
I put in the link the for this document that you are sharing. If you can kindly put your name here as attendee, just so we have this memory. And welcome to the team. Bem-vindo ao time.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So we are talking about the good, bad, and ugly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else? I think would keep it short and sweet it's enough.
Yeah, I think that's good because it's just a panel, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's an open Q&A and stuff. So
Yeah, we know
I
that.
think that's good.
I don't know if you have any panelists already confirmed for this. I know that I try internally at Intel. You are not at that stage when we're talking about Salsa. I know Verizon, it's an option. Melbit was working with to see if internally at IBM as well, but so far, I think that the only one that you have on the lineup, it's Verizon. That, I mean, that has potential.
I mean, we are, you know, we have our own offering for like, and we actually developed a pipeline. We are trying to figure out what it takes to be, what, you know, so-called conformant with Salsa,
Mhm.
and you know, but we already have been doing work in that space. I mean, we can definitely participate in this. And some of the challenges, like you know, I was touching on earlier, for instance, is the overlap with SBOM on the one end, where you put some work into developing you know, production of SBOMs. And then we're like, we look at the Salsa and we say, hey, so now we have to produce provenance for Salsa. And guess what? There is a big overlap. And yeah, they're not exactly the same, but it's a bit like, do we really have to do this too? Can this be the same? Anyway,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't call it like, you know, I wouldn't say we're done yet, but we definitely have some experience to share.
But it's specifically Salsa or software supply chain in general?
Like I said, I mean, the primary focus has been to produce as bonds because this is kind
Yeah.
of the must-have. And naturally, it leads us to say, okay, but so
Yeah.
this thing Salsa, can we also claim compliance? And what does it mean?
Yeah.
So it is
Because
related.
yeah, I have that discussion internally at Intel as well. If you have someone that it's focused on the product development at Intel, they would like to come to this panel. But as you mentioned, we are internally focused on one BOM because, of course, we already have the BOM for hardware, but it now as a BOM, it's something that it's
Yes.
have to come together. And but Salsa, it's like, okay, let's first have the one BOM, and then later, as you mentioned, but that's the reason that they said, well, maybe you are not good candidates yet for this panel, not this year, not for this time frame, but looking forward, Salsa, it's something that it's in your roadmap.
Yeah, so I think, you know, some of it maybe, you know, like we were saying, was it worth it? I mean, if you put it that way, I wouldn't be able to answer it fully because I'd say, well, it's still work in progress, but I could still share what I think about it, whether it's worth it or not, right? I think. So I think somebody could probably do the same for Intel. I don't think that necessarily should stop you from participating. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Salsa is still in the works. We're still developing the spec. Who has the, you know, who is in a position to say, yeah, we've done it and I can tell you all about what it takes to get there? It's like, well, nobody has done it per se. I mean, maybe Google has a bit more, you know, experience because they started this early and it's based on some of the internal works they did. But, you know, I think some of this is going to be about sharing how much we already know. And I think it's not, I don't think we can limit ourselves to people who've done it already because it doesn't really mean anything given that the spec is not even final yet.
Oh yeah, but you know, I can send you the link. It was I think that was November last year. It was Google Next. They announced a product that it's, of course, their pipeline in GCP,
Yes.
and they claim that they are Salsa level 3.
But of course,
Yep.
but I'm on the specification work group, and with this discussion, and I say, oh, maybe there are discussions, and then you hear Google person say, hey, I don't know if we can have that requirement because maybe
Mhm.
I don't know if we'd be comfortable with having this in the spec, and which means that Google is not conformant on day one, Google Cloud. And I'm like,
Yep.
well, sorry, this is what happens during the standardization process. Sometimes you don't get everything you want, and maybe you need to do a bit more work than you've already done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm an old standards guy. So for me, those things is like, well, hello, that's just the way it is. But so, yeah, I know Google, and I'm sure there are other companies that will claim they already are compliant, but I don't think we should take this for granted, and it doesn't matter. We shouldn't, if otherwise, maybe there's like two people who are going to be on the stage. I don't know.
Yep.
So I don't think this disqualifies what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but at least we
I think
have
you need
two.
to have that looked into it and get already a sense of what that means and what's motivating you to look into it and all these things. And
Mhm.
that alone, in my opinion, is worth,
Yep.
having it aired on the panel.
So just come back here.
Yeah.
Let's say everybody agree with this abstract. Can you mark it's
Well,
final?
so maybe given what we just talked about, maybe instead of was worth it, we just make it is worth it. Why the journey is worth it.
Why the journey? It's worth okay.
Make it
Yeah,
present tense.
I actually like that a lot based on what we just talked about. The
Yep.
journey is worth it. I like that a lot.
Is
Yeah,
worth
I
it?
like that. I like that
It is
better as
worth
well.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That
And
way
by the
we
way,
can make
I have to
it-
agree. I have to agree with Arno. See, like these are things like way back last year, when things started to change. It's like such is the land of developing a spec, right? You're always gonna find gaps, discover gaps, fill those
Mhm.
gaps, things like that. But then when things start to split off, now you're dealing with a situation where you can't. It's what does it mean to be level one? And then of course now it's level one by which spec? The build, the provenance, the source, or the conformance, because that's where we're at now, right? That these are all things that need to be discussed and then break them apart, pull them back together. I mean, all done in earnest, of course, but now now we're really dealing with a situation of what does it mean to be level 3, and is last year's level 3 today's level 3, or 2, or 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, if that is
I
no
think with
more.
that done, I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, let's shift the gears to the next one. Salsa with us, the dance of AppSec. I love those titles. Okay, so this is what I have. Want to see Salsa in action? Join OpenSSF Salsa group for a live hands-on demonstration of how to obtain a Salsa compliant built-in with sample REPL. Who's going to put in this together? Just abstract that you're putting out, and if it got approved, we try to do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I
concerns
think-
me. Do we even have a live hands-on demo? I mean, I know we have some places that have presented, but in the meetings, but are they willing to do a live hands-on demo or make one?
I think this one So first, 1.0 needs to be ratified before anything else. I think with this one, unless that doesn't happen, I think we probably could still do something like this, but I think we really do need to qualify it.
Yeah.
Before it happens, right? So what do we mean by SLSA in action to this point? What does that look like to this point? Especially if 1.0 isn't ratified and we can't say according to 1.0, this is, we have to qualify and then say what that actually looks like and what it actually means.
I agree with you, Jay. I mean, it's got to have all the right disclaimers up front to say, you know what, it's not exactly all done and ready yet, but this is where things stand. And I mean, I wasn't part of the group that put that together initially. I can imagine they want to leverage some of the tools that are available today and that will need to be indeed revised and updated as the spec progresses towards 1.0.
Yeah, just bringing it, because if you go to the SLSA website, we have this, I don't know how many of you have seen this, reaching SLSA level 1, they have the guidance.
Yeah.
And the SLSA level 3, you have the guidance as well. I was reading a little bit more skeptical. I say, wow, I don't think that it's right, but it's in our website. Maybe if it's wrong, we have to raise a flag.
There's a pull request already submitted yesterday against this page that provides a lot more details and shows it's maybe not quite as easy, but there are some issues with it. And so, yeah. But I think it does highlight some of the things they probably want to demo at the event. I don't know. So I don't know that unless any one of you is familiar with this, maybe we cannot deal with this now.
No.
You may put this on hold, the number 3, until you have
to be finalized. I mean, with people who will do this. I don't know who is going to, but maybe Michael Lieberman, for instance, works on Fresca, wants to show how you might do this with Fresca. I don't know. I don't know who volunteers to do this.
Like waiting SLSA view 1 be published first.
No, I don't know that I would make that a must-have. I think there are people working on tools. We have several in OpenSSF, and I think it could be okay to demo the ones that are within OpenSSF. I would warn against demoing a specific product.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's based on some open source tool, why not? I mean, and with the proper disclaimer that says, the spec is still not finalized. Those tools are still very much work in progress. We will keep updating them as the spec progresses. People have the proper information. They can still get a sense of what we're talking about.
Right.
I think it could still be useful, but
you just need to qualify it. That's all. You just need to qualify it to say, hey, that this is so according to what the spec is currently and the current available tools to reach this level according to where the spec is currently, this is how it can be done. And you got to be fully transparent with that.
Yes, I agree. And it's got to be like, okay, this is just one way of doing it, because obviously the expectation they will be making, right, offerings.
Okay, but we have to submit those abstracts for next week and just make sure that you finalize this test.
I
think this one needs to be put on hold. We could do it. I just think it because the preparation behind it.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah, but you can always submit it and figure out the details after.
Well, it's one thing to figure out a presentation, and then it's another thing to figure out a demo with not a finalized spec.
Who wants to be on that stage? I'm just saying, who wants?
Not me.
I mean, I'm telling you, there are people like Michael Lieberman. He works on Fresca. He already has something. It's not production ready by any means, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind to run his tool and say, hey, this is how
absolutely.
you can enable it. And it's
Absolutely.
worth what it's worth, but so I don't know. I'm personally, I don't see a problem with submitting it. And, I assume apparently none of us here today can do it or is willing to put the demo together. But I assume somebody volunteered to do that. So,
Okay,
You're right.
I
Mike Lieberman will jump at the chance to put Fresca out there as a tool. I mean, he does it during the Fresca meetings. I mean, he'll jump at the chance to pull that tool out and show.
okay, I reach out to Michael and the other people in the other groups to see if it's someone raise
Okay.
their hands to
yeah,
make this
that'd
demo,
be great.
because
And-
for
and
now I
Melba
say, well,
might know also. You might
I'm not
ask
comfortable to
Melba.
to push it, but
Yeah, just ask Melba, do you know who is volunteering to do this demo?
That sounds good.
okay.
And you could put a note saying, a little bit of the concerns we have, saying a proper disclaimer should be based on open source freely available tools, that kind of stuff. I think it might be worth pointing out.
Okay, and you have the last one, a ketchup, mustard, and release to software supply chain security. But for me, it's almost lunchtime, right? So I don't know what it means. Skip the soccer and join the OpenSSF integrity working group. You discuss how to improve and standardize the software supply. It was your abstract, Jay? I don't know.
Well, we all worked on it, but the title was something I came up with. I think this right here is something a bit more dare I say easier for us to do, right? Because we all can, having especially when you're at the working group level and you're in all of these meetings, you can clearly draw the lines between S2C2F, Salsa, Fresca, hell, even Guac and everything else, and you see where they all have relevance and they all fit together. So this is a better discussion holistically across everything that we're working on in the working group. And then of course using the idea of positioning, right, where we're talking about having an umbrella positioning SIG for S2C2F, Salsa and Fresca together. This is a good win, not just for Salsa but for S2C2F, for Fresca. Hell, this is a good win for the supply chain integrity working group, to highlight what we're working on, period, right? We could even discuss after, we talk about these things, right? And we can even then discuss the broader supply chain security framework being worked on that incorporates all of these things. So I think this one is a great win for OpenSSF supply chain integrity working group.
Just to make it clear, because I'm not sure what it's the format. It's you're going to be a panel discussion or you be a lecture? Because for reading this looks like that it's a panel.
I think it's a panel.
Okay.
I think it's a panel, right? Because I think taking people from you'd have to have everyone from each one of these SIGs sitting on stage together, feeding off one another, discussing how they all fit, and then taking questions from the audience about the direction that each of these are heading in. Hell, and then like I said, full transparency, what the gaps are, how we're addressing those gaps, together, right? What we're doing as a community to address those gaps, right? So that, I mean, this is definitely a panel. I don't think you can do this just one person or two people up there lecturing. I think this really does need to be a panel.
And do you have already identified who would be in this panel?
I don't. I mean, logically, I mean, I'd be there, or my co-chair on the S2C2F SIG, Adrian will be there. But I sit there, I sit in the salsa ones, and I sit in the Fresca SIG as well.
Yeah, you can, no, but I agree with you, Jay. You can have a leader of S2C2F, a leader of salsa and Fresca. Fresca would be my call for sure.
Absolutely.
So we just need, salsa or somebody else to step up for this and a moderator, and that's it. You have a panel.
Yep.
So help me how to deal with this. It's the abstract is finalized. We just have to find who, at least 3 people that will be in this panel. That I understand that at least 3, right?
At least 3. Yep.
You
Yeah, I think
probably
the
should
abstract is
expand a
good.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit short. I mean, you wonder if you're just a judge on the program committee of the summit. You read this, you say, "Oh yeah, sure, that sounds like a great idea." I don't know. And I don't know for a fact that this was meant to be a panel. Do you, Jay?
Do I? No. I mean, I think I don't even know if we. I don't even know if we. I think we were working on the abstract, but I don't even know if we settled on.
No, for this one, what I understood that it was a discussion with at least 3 panels, 3 panelists, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems to make sense because it says we will discuss. So that's
right.
That kind of hints towards a panel.
Yeah, I think we're settling on that right now on this call, which makes perfect sense. I know that we were more concerned with just the abstract for submission. Last time. And
yeah,
not
but
really
my concern, if you send an abstract, but you have no idea how you're going to deliver, it's just okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a.
Yeah, and in fact, I mean, no, but in fact, I mean, when you submit, typically you have to indicate what kind of,
whether it's one presenter, 2 presenters,
it is.
or
yes, exactly. Whether it's just a short presentation, long presentation, a panel, you have to specify that when you submit it, right? And you do have to specify who the co-panelists are if you have some, typically. Although that might be changeable after. But
I don't know how long you'll be those sessions as well, because usually for panel discussion, you cannot do this like 20 minutes, 25 minutes if we have short sessions, right?
You need at least 30 minutes.
Or more. For panel discussion like this, I think,
at least. I agree with you, but at least, because, I mean, think about it. You have 3 people, it's just 10 minutes per person, plus the moderator needs to kind of do an introduction. So it's very short, even if you have no presentation, just going through questions and stuff. So yeah.
So just set it back to this one. Do you agree that it's a panel discussion or not?
Yes. I haven't heard anybody disagree. So let's do this. Let's call it a panel.
Okay, but do we have candidates to be in the panel? I heard that Jay will be one of those, right?
I don't mind. I would love to be one of them. I don't mind that at all. I'm assuming I'll be there because I do have a DE&I stuff. So yeah, I'll sit on the panel.
So we need to identify another 2. And probably you're sitting in other 2 committees. Probably will know who it should be invited as well.
For salsa, it'll be hard. I would say Mark Lodetto.
Yeah.
Yes, probably the best person that
is Lodato right like this?
Yes,
I believe it's Lodato. Yeah.
I'm not sure he wants to be tagged on every one of those sessions, but we can try to. He's not here, so he cannot reject it for now. And I think Michael Lieberman would be the FSCA person.
Okay,
And I mean, I don't know
Michael
if we need
Lieberman.
the
Okay, wait,
moderator is a bit easier.
I put
We
in.
probably need a moderator, right?
Man, this is a long name. S2 C2F. Okay, so need confirmation.
Come on, it's so smooth on the tongue. I don't understand. It just rolls.
So I don't know what is this. This is something that we discussed as well as another abstract.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, they
I don't
said
know either
they were talking about
because I was not
update
in the
on
last
actual
meeting.
spec. And I remember we discussed it before, and it was really along the lines of like, well, the goal is that SLSA 1.0 will be out by then. But in any case, we could, somebody ought to go there and give a presentation as to what the status is, what it's providing, what's covering, what not, and how it compares to what has been out here published so far, which is SLSA 1.0.01. But I don't know who said may introduce a can of worms.
Yeah, that's the one that I was not in the previous meeting, so I don't know if
No,
it's like a
I wasn't
tentative or
there.
whatever. I don't know.
And I see the note saying is to ask Mark or Josh whether they're already working on this. They may have provided some or submitted something on their own. I think this is what this is referring to. I don't know. Probably need to reach out to them and figure this
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
And that's what
So-
I'm saying, how many times can you tag Mark?
Okay.
So
But by the way, we discussed this as a be a panel, but I don't know if you agree on the abstract as well.
So I was saying,
Now that
I
it's
don't
a
know if
panel,
it's not too short, but I think what it says is fine. I just don't know if it's not a bit short. Maybe we should expand a bit.
short to mean what? The abstract or this session?
Yeah. No, the abstract.
What would we, well,
I mean,
I'm
think
saying,
about
I'm
it. There
thinking, what
are
would we
two.
include? I mean, all of these
there
are
are two
pretty much in
audiences.
very early stages.
Yes, I agree. But there are two audiences, right? The first one is going to be the program committee who's going to review this and decide based on this whether they even want to care of giving it time or not. And then the other is once you pass that, assuming it's accepted, what would appear on the program and whether it will make people want to come and listen in or not. So I think for those of us who live in that space, it seems fine. But for those who are not in that space, it's a bit short.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my opinion, in a discussion with those three frameworks, you should be aware at least two of those. Otherwise, you'll be completely lost.
Yeah. I think and maybe this is true for some of the other ones too, we ought to at least talk about the software supply chain security in this.
Mm-hmm.
So like standardize your software supply chain. We should say security there with S2CF and so on. Can I add
Okay.
this?
Yeah, sure.
At least you know that kind of frames what this is about. And then
Mhm.
you may not know anything about those acronyms, but you're like, okay, this is about software supply chain security. Fine.
Wow. So that's what I have for the order of the day. Is there anything else? Because if you agree with the
So-
abstractors, I think good to move on. Any other topics? Future agenda?
So I'm sorry, I'm going to revisit a little bit the other ones because I think they all need to talk about software supply chain security. They should all include that somewhere.
I mean the wording,
The
right?
other abstracts, yes, the wording. So if you go back to the good, bad, and ugly, blah,
Yeah.
blah, we should have, and their SLSA adoption journey towards
Yeah. Good.
Towards software
To us, no, or towards secure
supply.
software supply chain.
Yeah,
Secure.
at least it kind of, people who have no idea what this is about, they get an understanding of what the topic is about. And so let's see, the third one probably ought to have that also somewhere.
Are you planning to add something else to salsa with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I would add this. If you have ideas, go ahead. I mean, I'm
Demonstration
not
how,
sure.
maybe hands-on demonstration how to secure your software supply chain
And obtain a SLSA compliant build with simple. I think
Yeah.
that would work.
Yeah. Like this. Is that right?
Yeah, you're missing out
Yeah.
to secure the software supply
Okay.
chain and obtain. Well, you could say your, right?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
How to secure your software supply chain and obtain a SLSA compliant build with sample repo. With a sample repo. And actually, we need to say conformant. I'll spare you the detail, but there is some like.
Yeah, compliant. Is a strong word.
No, but yeah, there's some legal implication and stuff we don't want to get into. And
Yeah.
conformant is a better word for what we mean here. I think that's better.
So
They
I
all
think
talk
that
about
it's
software supply chain security, which kind of frames those things. And I think that's good.
so. That's the order of the day for today.
Any other opinions or ideas?
So you are planning to submit this for the event. So you'll be the final wording.
So who's actually doing this?
Well, Mamba, she brought me to a discussion in Slack about this. I'm still trying to decode this, man. But I think that it's next week. It's the deadline, if I'm
Yes,
not
I
wrong.
think that's correct.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, because we need to make sure that not, it doesn't fall through the cracks where everybody thinks somebody else is doing it.
Yeah. I saw that it's in a discussion that it's Jennifer, Jory. Man, I have to decode. That is a big thread.
Is that on Slack?
Yeah, and it's like, yeah. Let me. I don't know. Okay, let me bring it to this discussion as well, or not.
Yeah, I'm happy to help if I can.
Okay.
And I work with Melba. So, I mean, we're not part of the same organization within IBM, but still talk to each other.
Yeah, there's no secrets here.
No.
Okay,
Sounds good.
sounds good. Have a great day. I think if that it's no other topics, we're good for today.
All right.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Have a good
bye.
day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks,
now.
everyone.